Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Sector 5. I am your host, as always, Cody the Hangman Heinzman, once again joined by Jeremy. Surprise, surprise. And we are here to give our review thoughts, give the lowdown on what happened on night 2 of WrestleMania. And one thing that is for certain, night 2 is going to be very much more fun to talk about than night 1.
Oh, yeah.
Right off the bat, we would give that much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, night 1 was a really good precursor for night 2, but night 2 definitely was the highlight. Anyone that bought tickets and just had night 1 tickets and didn't have night 2, they missed out.
For sure. For sure.
But I think that's enough preamble. Let's get down to the meat and potatoes of this. As always, we will be going down the way that we talked about them. So we'll be talking about the second match that happened. It was the street fight with Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford, versus Karrion Kross and Akam and Razor of AOP. And that match was not as boring as originally thought.
You forgot to add with special guest referee Bubba Ray Dudley.
Yes, they did have a special guest referee, Bubba Ray Dudley, and they had a special guest commentary by Snoop Doggy Dogg.
Which I found that a little odd that they had, like, no one knew that was going to... But that's one of those, like, WrestleMania surprises, I guess.
Right.
But it wasn't as bad of a match. I mean, it was, like, standard, fair, like, tag match. But it was just crazy. But can we talk about that table spot?
Which table spot?
The one where the table decided, well, you know what? No, I'm peacing out.
Gotcha.
Screw this.
Yeah, I think sadly the highlight of that match was the table that decided to collapse before the spot happened.
The table was like, you know what? I'm getting my shit in. I don't care. You all can figure it out after that.
On night 1, you had a ladder that almost gave out. Mm-hmm. And on night 2, you had a table that did give out.
TLC Defuncto Edition.
If the equipment gives out first, no one wins.
Yes, right. Just because everyone's going to be injured.
But I think adding Bubba Ray Dudley to the matchup and having Snoop Dogg on commentary really carried the match. But it was also a spectacle to watch, I guess.
It was entertaining. I'll give it that. I didn't have a whole lot of stock in it, but it turned out to be all right for what it was. Because I don't really care for any of the wrestlers. Like I don't care for any of the wrestlers involved. I mean, Bobby Lashley's all right. I like Bobby Lashley. Other than that, everyone else is kind of meh.
Yeah.
Everyone else is kind of mid.
It was a match to throw in to have a match, kind of. But they did what they had to do to keep people's interest, because I think they looked at him like, I don't think people are going to be interested in this. So let's throw Bubba Ray in as a guest referee so that we can have like a Dudley Boy moment and having Snoop Dogg on commentary just spitting rhymes.
I think, because like, with the match, the only like superstar you have that has any like main event experience is Bobby Lashley. Everybody else is mid jobber or whatever. Mm-hmm.
I mean, Montez Ford and Dawkins are at least former tag team champions, and I think AOP were tag team champions before they left WWE for a short stint.
True, but like Karrion Kross, what I mean?
Yeah, Karrion Kross is. They tried to push him, and it hasn't worked out. We might see a better push in the coming years.
I think Scarlett's more over than Karrion Kross.
Right.
So
I figure we're going to have maybe a mixed tag team match or just B-Fab taking on Scarlett somewhere down the road.
maybe because they did just announce for that like King and Queens of the Ring, so that could be something.
But I don't think there's much more to
Not really.
say on the matchup. So we'll go on to our next match of the night that I have wrote down. LA Knight versus AJ Styles.
You good there?
Yeah.
Get some water.
But that match lived up to its hype.
It was a pretty good match. AJ Styles got a new theme.
AJ Styles did get a new theme.
LA Knight's entrance could have been a little more
It was
spectacular. It was kind of course, it is his first WrestleMania, so I kind of get that, but they still could have did something.
Right. LA Knight did pick up the win, so technically LA Knight right now is undefeated at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he could have came out with the Slim Jim car.
Yeah.
Why didn't they do that?
Should have came out with the car and then gave the keys to the person that won it.
Right.
Which, let's talk about that for a little bit, too. That woman was so excited to win that car, wasn't she?
I think she might have been, just a combination of, elder, she's probably exhausted. She might have been there for night one. She's probably excited as she possibly could be.
She just had that, why am I here? Why did I enter this contest?
I don't know. Good match, good spots. LA Knight picks up the win. Mm-hmm. That's what I wanted, so.
We did not have a phenomenal forearm hit. 2 attempts happened, but no phenomenal forearm or even Styles Clash happened.
Mm-mm.
We had the calf crusher. Didn't get it fully locked in, but we had it.
Right, yeah. No, that we could have seen a little more of that, but I mean, it wasn't a 5-star match by any stretch of the imagination.
Definitely building LA Knight up, though.
Yeah. I mean, he's been over for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a gimmick that's just over because it's very nostalgia of the Attitude Era
and very minimalistic.
Yeah.
Anybody can get behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I think we're done with that.
Yeah, there's not really, other than, that, there wasn't really much to talk about. It's standard fare.
So on to our title matches of the night. We had 4 title matches of the night. First one to talk about is the Fatal 4-Way match between Logan Paul, the
Fatal
Viper.
4-Way. You mean Triple Threat?
Did I say Fatal 4-Way?
You definitely said Fatal 4-Way.
Okay, triple threat between Logan Paul, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens. Let's first talk about the entrance. I loved the entrance for Kevin Owens and the Viper Randy Orton.
The go-kart.
With the go-kart, Kevin Owens comes out with his music, drives all the way to the end of the ramp just to back up and pick up Randy Orton hey! Like he's a hitchhiker on the end of the road.
Well, before that, he came out and he was staring at the Prime truck that Logan Paul ran in. Then he goes back behind the entrance, and I thought he was gonna grab a crowbar and start beating on that truck because that's usually what they do. And he comes out with this go-kart looking deal, and
I missed the fact that he came out normal.
Yeah, he came out, and then he stopped and he was staring at Logan Paul's Prime truck. And then he went back behind the stage, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna do something. And then that's when he drove out with the go-kart buggy thing.
And
it looked like a golf cart without the top.
I think it was a golf cart without the top because at the end of SmackDown, Kevin Owens and Randy Orton chased after Logan Paul on a golf cart.
Oh,
so that's where that comes in. Winner of the match was Logan Paul. It was a good match. It did start out with the Viper Randy Orton and Kevin Owens just wanting to beat the tar out of Logan Paul.
Mm-hmm.
So it definitely orchestrated the fact that Logan Paul was winning it, but it was a good spot.
Mm-hmm.
And then when finally things broke loose, they broke loose. Randy Orton RKOing Kevin Owens when he tried to do the pop-up powerbomb.
Yep, that
Probably spot of the night.
Yep.
Then of course someone had to be inside the Prime outfit.
Of course.
I don't know who it is.
I show speed.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a Twitch streamer, I think.
Okay. Apparently not a well-liked guy.
I don't know like how popular he is because I don't watch him. I'm sure he has a fan base, but like anytime you're like a social media star or a like a streamer or anything like that, and you come into the wrestling world, you're not really well received, no matter how liked you are in that area. The fans just don't really care.
I guess there's not much more to go on with it. It was a good match.
It was a good match. I'll give it that.
And definitely setting up, it looks like Kevin Owens and Randy Orton will be tagging, even if it's for a short stint, going forward.
Yeah, I could see them going after the tag titles. Maybe not picking them up, but at the very least, going after them.
Which leads us to Io Sky taking on Bayley for the WWE Women's Champion. Io Sky being the champion, Bayley the challenger. I worded that as if Bayley was the champion going into this. She is the champion now because she did win the matchup.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was about to say all the world titles changed hands, but no. Rhea Ripley held on to her.
Rhea Ripley retained hers. The other thing I was going to say with the last match, last match was the only match where the champ came out first.
Yeah.
The entire night. And usually when champ comes out first, doesn't bode well for them, but it worked well for Logan Paul.
I thought about my prediction and how I said Randy was going to win. And then I thought to myself, Randy wouldn't have been the good pick. If it would have been 1-on-1, Randy and Logan Paul, then maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I think you kind of touched on that.
Yeah, I still stand by that if Logan Paul versus Randy Orton happened, Orton probably would have walked out.
Yeah, I think you touched on it. So I agree with you. I should have stuck with Logan Paul because it was actually easier for him to win a triple threat, theoretically.
Because he has to be involved with the pinfall to win, but it's easier for him to lose it too. Because he doesn't have to be involved with.
Yeah.
But then he doesn't have to give the final move, which is kind of what happened. Randy Orton hit that RKO off the pop-up powerbomb, and then Logan Paul capitalized on it.
Yep. And I kind of figured that if he was going to win, that was how it was going to happen. Somebody was going to hit a move, and he was going to, vulture himself in there. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what happened. So.
But I guess let's get back to Io Sky and Bayley now.
Yeah, we kind of went off the rails there for a second.
All right. But talking about Io Sky versus Bayley.
Bayley's entrance was probably the highlight of that match.
Bayley's entrance was really good. I think she's picking into the brain of my fellow co-host here. Inside joke on that one. And ultimately, at the end, Bayley was able to take out Io Sky.
Not a good weekend for Damage Control.
No, Damage Control has some recovery.
The only thing that they can...
Some pieces to pick up.
The only thing that they can count their lucky stars on now is that they still have the women's tag titles.
Which definitely needs to be defended next year at WrestleMania, I feel.
Has it ever been defended at WrestleMania?
I don't know.
I think WrestleMania 37?
Did the first tag team champions be crowned at WrestleMania? or was that a different event?
Wait, no. I think WrestleMania. Was it Sasha Banks?
Sasha Banks and Bailey. Did they defend at WrestleMania and lose it?
I thought it was Sasha Banks and Naomi.
Maybe. They picked them up.
Yeah, they were actually defended. I think it was WrestleMania 37? No, because that's when... I don't know. That's something I had to look into. I don't remember.
Which, speaking of actually things to look into, it's relevant to Bailey, too. We talked about how Rhea Ripley and Bailey never had a match, and they actually did have a match. I looked that up. Back March 20th, 2023, they faced off on a Monday Night Raw.
Oh.
I don't think it was for the title, but they had a match back in
Right.
2023. So I got clarification on that.
Cool. Obviously, it wasn't noteworthy because
Right.
I didn't remember it.
Also, I don't really get to see Monday Night Raw anymore. So
Not same, and I kind of only just watch highlights of stuff that I care about.
storylines
So
we want to follow.
anything I'm not interested in, I don't even touch it. So that's why half the time I don't know what's going on with storylines.
Right.
I don't care about because I don't check into it.
Which, to go about predictions a little bit too, and then we'll get back on task a little bit. I think we'll finish up talking about Io and Bailey here because I mean, just really wasn't much noteworthy.
No, it was
Bailey
a good match. It was...
won the match. I'd say it's mid, a 5 out of 10, maybe.
Yeah, because the match only lasted like what, 10, 15 minutes?
Possibly. But I think it's better going into making predictions if you're not like keen on the story. Because having the full story played out in front of you, it's kind of like, okay, I know what's going on here.
Yeah, you can kind of.
But if you're going in blindly, it kind of leaves to the chance of getting it wrong.
Even if you don't,
if you know
the story, it's not
set in stone.
It's not a 100%. It's not a one and done. Mm-hmm. WWE likes to throw curveballs. Like last year, I thought Cody was going to get the title from Roman, and it didn't happen.
Right.
So.
All right. Which leads us to talking about the first match of the night, which we did predict yesterday was going to be the first match.
Mm-hmm.
You had Seth Rollins defending his World Heavyweight Championship against Drew McIntyre. Mm-hmm. And the winner of that match was Drew McIntyre. So let's talk about that before we go a little bit farther into it. Seth versus Drew McIntyre was a banger.
And it started off at 100.
It started off right on the rip.
As soon as the bell rings, ding, 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 Drew McIntyre hits a monstrous Claymore.
Definitely looked like it was going to be a situation of Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan back when they had their World Heavyweight Championship match.
WrestleMania 28. I remember because I watched it live.
I couldn't watch it. I was actually in Ireland.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I was in Ireland when that happened. So I was actually in Dublin, Ireland when Sheamus picked up the championship.
That's crazy. But, yeah, Claymore, dead center of the ring. 1, 2. I thought it was going to...
Yeah.
For a split second, I thought, wow, they're doing a fucking squash match.
Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, it would make sense given Seth Rollins went through...
Hell and back, yeah. Night one. And he's opening the show.
Visibly bad injury.
Mm-hmm.
Having Drew McIntyre Claymore done could be believable.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was well done.
That was, yeah.
But even after that, the match never slowed down. It was
it didn't.
Fast paced throughout. Even if Seth Rollins couldn't do his usual, he had a good showing.
Mm-hmm. He was fighting through the battle damage.
I would give it an 8.5.
I give it a 9. 9.5 easily.
Yeah, easily.
But I'll start talking about where Drew McIntyre made his fatal mistake of focusing way too heavily on CM Punk.
Mm-hmm.
Because you had CM Punk as the special commentator for the match. Special commentator.
Special commentator.
And Drew McIntyre just kept acknowledging his presence out in the out at the announce table.
Definitely planting seeds that something is going to happen at some point.
Yep.
But it was a fatal mistake for him. Drew McIntyre did pick up his win. He win.
He won.
He had it for a good 5 minutes.
And then he decided to go over and rub it in CM Punk's face.
And CM Punk took his arm brace that he had on, took it off, put it on his good arm, and bashed Drew McIntyre's head in. Which led to Damian Priest cashing in. Almost failing to cash in as well. Bashed McIntyre in the head with it and almost threw the briefcase into the audience.
Yeah, that would have been like, well, there it goes. Easy come, easy go, I guess.
I made a joke that if it went in the audience, whoever picked it up, they would come into the ring and be like, I'm cashing this in. I'm Mr. Money in the Bank now.
Oh, my goodness. That would have been something.
But he did successfully cash in. And your new World Heavyweight Champion,
Damian Priest.
Damian Priest of Judgment Day. So Judgment Day's folly from night one, where they lost their tag titles. Dominic Mysterio lost his match. All was kind of amended with Damian Priest cashing in.
Yep.
They at least had 2 wins at WrestleMania this year.
Yep.
And I'm interested to see where the story is going to go from here with that title.
Yeah, we're going to see some dissension in the ranks. It's not going to happen immediately.
Right.
It's going to be a slow build, I think. Because they did plant some seeds of dissension there for a minute. Everything seemed like it was on the up and up. But now with Damian holding the world title, how long is that going to stick around? You know what I mean?
Which I think it was surprising to start the night out with the cash in. It seemed like something that would happen midway through. But having it start the night with it, they definitely chose to start both nights the best way.
Yep. And another thing I want to talk about, CM Punk is goated because his when he was talking to Drew McIntyre when he was on the table, and he's like, I need you to know I can't hear a word you're saying.
I have no idea what you're saying. It was the best.
CM Punk's goated. I don't care what your opinion is of him. Love him, hate him. Like, he can wrestle, he can talk. Like,
he's good for the business. But that's all we have to talk about. We can get into the main event.
Match of the century.
Oh boy, strap in, ladies and gentlemen. My name may not be Paul Heyman, but strap in. Roman Reigns, your undisputed WWE Universal Champion, walking in this match against the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, Bloodline Rules match.
Can we talk about Cody Rhodes' entrance for a second before we get into the match itself?
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Very Triple H-esque.
Comes out with the skull crown. Yeah, that was cool.
I was hoping he was going to have war paint on, but oh well, he can't win them all.
The Tron, like the flags and like the battle. That was I want that in my life.
But the match starts off, and it pretty much starts off like a regular match.
Yeah, it was started out real slow, very slow. Like you're like in the back of your head, like, okay, where's the rest of the bloodline? What's going on here? It was kind of like for the first like 10-15 minutes. It was just like a normal match.
Good old match, and then eventually it went to the outside, being like, okay, we're building up a little bit to it. Then it kicks it to 11, back and forth between Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes.
Roman Reigns hitting the crossroads. Mm-hmm. Cody Rhodes hitting the spear.
And I think if you were going to talk about CM Punk being like bringing his talking and you hearing everything, I think that one of the best things of the match was after Roman Reigns hit the crossroads. He was like, "This doesn't win anything.
This move sucks.
This move sucks. I just want to rub it in his face." And being able to audibly hear what he's saying, that was a very good touch.
That was another hint that Roman was losing the match. Mm-hmm. Like they dropped so many hints that this was it. They were pulling the trigger on it.
Which there for a while it was touch and go. Mm-hmm. It was very back and forth. Roman had his moments where it looked like he was retaining. Cody had his moments looking like he was taking the title. And then when things started happening, they started happening.
Yep.
First off, you had Jimmy Uso come in.
Super kick Cody Rhodes.
Super kick Cody Rhodes. Then you hear main event, Jey Uso's music play. They fight out on the ramp, leading to Jey Uso spearing Jimmy Uso off the stage.
And through
two tables.
On the floor below.
And it looked like they were going to go flying too far and just land on the floor.
That was but yeah, that
too much vroom vigor there.
So that started it off. That's when
shit hit the fan.
Yeah, I literally took the words right out of my mouth. And then we go back into it, and Cody, they start going back and forth. Cody starts picking up more momentum, and then Solo comes out.
Spikes Cody.
Spikes him.
Reminiscent of last year.
Pulls Roman over, puts him on top of Cody. 1, 2, shoulder up. Solo's like, wait a minute.
And I did the right input. You fucked up.
And then, did he spike him again, or did
he picked them up,
spiked him,
and hit him with the spike with Roman Reigns spearing him, doing their tag team thing.
And then he went for the pin. One, two.
Boom.
Shoulder up. We were off sync there. And then they're about to do some more damage, and then boom, Cena's music hits.
Which I guess there was speculation that he was going to be there, but just the fact that he was there was the first surprise of the night.
Mm-hmm. Because you kind of figured Jay was going to get involved with Jimmy coming out, so that was almost a foregone conclusion.
And then you kind of figured Seth was going to get involved first, but nope. It's John Cena!
John Cena comes out, beats the tar out of Solo.
Hits him with the attitude adjustment
and then,
from his childhood friend, R-Truth.
No, and then did he hit? He hit Solo first, and then he hit Roman? Or did he hit Roman first, and then because I know he hit Solo outside through the Spanish announce table.
I think he did him through he ran him through the announce table first, and then went after Roman.
Okay, so he did, okay.
And then you hear the Rock's music, and you had the match of the century, the one time ever match, happen for a third time.
So they stand face to face, they both look out at the crowd, and then they go, Rock hits Cena with the rock bottom, tells him to get the out of the ring. And then Rock's about to do his whole whatever he's going to do, and then boom, the Shield. Ding. No, that was Shield first. Seth Rollins came out first.
Yeah, Sierra Hotel, Indy, Echo, Lima, Delta, Shield.
Seth Rollins comes out with the chair, immediately gets Superman punched by Roman Reigns.
Immediately.
Then Rock and Roman went outside, didn't he? Or he didn't.
Yeah, I think he went after
because the Rock was gonna. He had the belt and he was gonna beat Cody, and then dong.
Boom. He was gonna hit Cena with it, I think.
Cena was still in the ring at that point?
I think Cena may have still been in the ring at this point. He was going to hit the belt on somebody that intervened in this match.
Either way.
Dong.
Lights go out.
Lights come back on.
There's The Undertaker. Now, Rock's still staring out at the entrance at this point. He's sitting there running his mouth. Turns around. Oh, shit. And it looked like The Rock was about to try to hit Taker with the belt, but Taker's like, nah. No, none of that.
Up and down goes Rock with a choke slam from The Undertaker.
And just as fast as he showed up, dong, lights go off.
Lights go out. Cena's gone. Rock's gone.
Taker's gone.
Taker's gone. Solo was gone.
Everybody was gone except for Cody Rhodes,
Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns.
And Seth Rollins was incapacitated at ringside.
Yep.
He didn't get anything in. He didn't get to do nothing. He just got beat up the whole time. He had a bad night. A really bad night.
Bad night. Bad 2 days.
Yeah, a really bad 2 days.
He had a really bad hangover. And once the lights come back on, it's just Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. He hits them with the 1, 2, 3 crossroads. And then the ref goes down. 1, 2, 3. Here's your winner and new WWE Undisputed Universal Champion. I can never say it twice right. I've come to notice this.
Hey, you tried. That's all that matters. But, new Universal WWE, whatever they're calling it now, because they go back and forth.
I think after today, tonight was the last time they were going with the long name. It's just going to go back to WWE Champion after tonight.
Yeah. I feel that's probably what they're going to do.
But Cody Rhodes is your new champion. He finished the story.
It's about damn time, too. Now, how long do you think he'll hold it? He's not going to hold it. He's not going to hold it near
He's
as long.
definitely not going to hold it near as long.
Roman's never going to... They're not... He's going to have that record that he held for a long time.
Yeah.
But it's finally over. The Bloodline Reign of Terror is finally over. Do you think Roman will be on Raw?
Oh.
I feel like he will.
Possibly.
I feel like... I know he's probably going to take some time off.
Probably.
The Rock and Roman Reigns will probably be on Raw. If not, at the very least, they'll be on SmackDown. But I feel like they're going to be... Because the Raw after WrestleMania is always insane.
Mm-hmm.
Now, going back to the match and where The Undertaker got involved, I was heavily expecting Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I think that would have been... I mean, don't get me wrong. The Undertaker is always... It's always nice to see The Undertaker show up, but I think it would have been more fitting if
it was Stone Cold.
If it was Stone Cold.
Like, I guess since it was WrestleMania, it had to be Undertaker. Undertaker was a weird inclusion to this.
Yeah, because he had nothing to do with any of it. He never had a match with Roman for the title.
The only thing he had with Roman was
WrestleMania 33 in the streak.
Was the second person to...
Oh, not the streak, but, beating him. He's the only other person to beat him at WrestleMania.
So I guess there's that retribution.
But...
all in all, it was definitely match of the night, match of the past 2 nights.
I give it a 15 out of 10.
Yeah.
That was the best main event. That was the best main event match of any WrestleMania in the past, I'll say 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
The last main event, last year's main event with Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns was really good.
It was good.
But usually the second, the second match is usually not like you had The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 25, and then you had it again at WrestleMania 26. And WWE seems to push the fact that the second match was better. But if any fan you ask, they will say hands down, Shawn Michaels Undertaker WrestleMania 25 as the greatest match of not just wrestling, but the greatest match of all time. And that's easily that's up for debate. That's on the table for debate. I don't know if I would say that this match was better than that because that match also has nostalgia,
right,
for me. And my two favorite wrestlers having that classic of a match, I don't think that can be topped. But for what it's worth, definitely a close second favorite match of all time. That was just spectacular.
They really brought the surprises out for this one, and did it well.
It was fitting because, like I said, if you're going to end this thing, if you're going to pull the trigger on ending this title reign, you got to do it big. You got to do it at WrestleMania, and it's got to be like crazy. And it was. It's exactly what I wanted from this storyline. This is exactly it paid off.
Right.
It definitely paid off, and that is awesome because a lot of times with these storylines, the story is really good, and then you get to the end of the story, and it's kind of like, well,
it fell flat.
That could have been better.
But the thing that also was with this match, because they've been talking so much about it, was the original plan was supposed to be Roman Reigns versus The Rock. And they pulled an audible with this and pulled Cody back in because we the people, I'll be Zeb Coulter here for a few, wanted Cody Rhodes. So they pulled the audible and
it gave the people what they wanted.
Gave us what we wanted.
I love democracy.
And that's why it was so much heavily speculated that Roman was going to retain, which makes this all the better that Cody actually finished the story. And to talk about the celebration afterwards, it was just kind of funny for poor Seth Rollins.
Oh, no. John Cena and who was it? Was it Sami Zayn?
It was Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, I think.
No, it was John Cena. It was John Cena.
Cena?
Yeah, it was
Cena and Sami Zayn had to literally drag.
Because Cody Rhodes was talking, and just in the background there, you could just see them pulling
him in through like the second rope, and then he's just sitting there in the corner up against the rope, like, I'm happy for you, bro. But dear Lord, I need to go back to the back.
He didn't look too thrilled. Of course, he had just gotten, the ever-living shit kicked out of him.
And then Kevin Owens was helping him back towards the back. Then he was able to start walking on his own volition. And I think he fist bumped.
Yeah, he said something. It looked like he said, you owe me one or something like that.
Yeah, maybe.
So maybe we could see Seth Rollins getting a shot.
Somewhere down the road, maybe.
But now we have the big problem that both world titles are on Raw.
Oh, yep.
So somebody's going to SmackDown.
Yeah. But
I would assume that if they do that, if they one of you's got to go, it's going to be Cody Rhodes because Damian Priest is in Judgment Day and they're on, so why split them up?
I mean, Cody Rhodes is probably going to go to SmackDown, but he'll probably just keep bouncing like he's been doing. He might not have matches or anything on Monday nights, but SmackDown will be where you see him in action.
Right. No, I can see that. But yeah, and and then the celebration, and Triple H coming out and
he does not want to come out, but Triple H, come out here. It was great, not only for Cody Rhodes winning the matchup, but for him to hold a title that his father never held in the company.
That had to be one hell of a moment. Mm-hmm. And it was sure one hell of a moment for us.
Which we were recapping on Cody's history with the company because we had a few people over that aren't wrestling marks like we are. And it was so is he new or what's going on with him? And how his first run in WWE, he was he was never going to hit the big time like he has.
No, he had to leave the company and build himself up and then come back. A lot of people had to do it. Drew McIntyre had to do it. Who else? AJ Styles had to do it.
Yeah.
Who else has left and come back? I can't think of anyone else off the top of my head.
I can't either. I mean, Punk technically left and came back eventually, but he was already in
Punk was built already. He was established before he left.
He had to get out of there.
Mm-hmm. He needed it to heal and come back. And now that, things have changed in WWE, I think things will be better.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people put, the stuff that happened with AEW, they put that on Punk, but I think AEW is just kind of like a toxic environment, from what I understand, backstage and whatever.
Right.
I try not to do the whole us versus them mentality with the companies, the tribal thing. If you're WWE, then you're hated by AEW, and I think that's stupid.
Right.
Just enjoy wrestling. If a match is good, it's good. I don't care where it's at.
But that was WrestleMania night again. Like we said at the top, night 2 was definitely the night to watch.
If you would have taken a couple of the matches from night 1, put it on night 2, and just had that in one night, that would have been the best WrestleMania of all time.
Right. I mean, what do you say? Probably get rid of Jade. That matchup. If you got rid of that one, got rid of Rey Mysterio.
Change that Jade and just have Jade face one of them one-on-one. I would say probably either Kairi Sane or Asuka. I'd probably go Asuka because Asuka's a little more. I mean, she was undefeated for how many days? 700.
Right. Yeah, she was defeated for a while.
She was.
I think she beat Goldberg's streak, didn't she?
Yeah.
Because
Goldberg was only 200.
Yeah. People are saying Goldberg's not too happy about that either.
Goldberg's gonna be Goldberg, I guess.
Yeah.
Goldberg. I used to like Goldberg, and then he kind of just, drove himself into the ground.
I feel if this was a night 1, like not even night 1 thing, if it was one night like it used to be, this would be a pretty good card, and you could throw some of the smoke break matches in, and it would still be
right. Yeah, because you have the last WrestleMania that was one night was
2019
WrestleMania 35, and it was too long in my opinion though.
Yeah, that one was too long. That was people were going home at 2 in the morning.
People were missing their buses or whatever.
Yeah,
people were stuck there. I think that's one of the reasons why they changed it, because people were getting stranded and all that nonsense that's crazy.
I wonder if it was a thing that they were sitting and thinking about, and then COVID came around, and it's okay, we should probably do this. So this is just another thing that came around because of COVID. Yeah, it was a good thing.
Probably kind of leaning on it, maybe, and then COVID happened, So COVID kind of tipped the scale.
Yeah.
As far as that. Maybe, I don't know. I wasn't there for that decision when that decision was made, so I don't know what factors played into it. COVID, I would assume that COVID was probably a heavy factor in that. But
there's a part of me, and I know we're getting off topic a little bit. We're done with our review, basically. We'll wrap up and final thoughts here on this. I wonder what a world would be like if that WrestleMania did not end up being 2 nights and was able to go the way it was.
If COVID never happened?
Yeah.
Maybe not. Who knows?
Been so much different. I liked what they did with it. It was weird not having any fans and made it a different WrestleMania. But you did get AJ Styles and Undertaker. That matchup, I liked that.
That was good, yeah. The theatrical matches.
The Firefly Funhouse. That was, not as prevalent as I feel like the AJ Styles Undertaker, but
no, that was definitely the what was the Boneyard match or whatever?
Yeah, the Boneyard match. It was. I like that. I think that was the best thing to come out of that WrestleMania.
I feel like AJ should have won that match.
Yeah.
Because that was technically Taker's last match.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like Taker should have did the favors for AJ Styles in that match. But that aside, that was pretty good.
So that was WrestleMania 40.
Definitely the first half. I'm kind of like, oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
Night 2 better be something, and it was something.
Night 2 was definitely something. Lived up to its hype. I think every match of the night was a 5 and above.
But if you were going to have that at one night, you would definitely have to open with the tag match.
Mm-hmm.
To give them time to... Well, of course, you wouldn't have... It'd be kind of weird because...
Oh, you're talking about Rock and...
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Because then Seth Rollins probably not going to be main event or near the main event because they used to like the way they split the world titles up when they used to do one night. But I don't know. It was a good thing, I guess, that the 2-night thing because it worked out because you get your tag match and then boom, then they leave you waiting like, ooh, what's going to happen? Bloodline rules match. It's going to be insane, and it was insane. Mm-hmm. It was way more insane than I expected.
Yep.
It definitely over delivered.
Yeah. It was weird not seeing anybody new this WrestleMania as well. Like, neither night, nobody, like, debuted or anything.
Oh, yeah. I mean, sometimes that happens.
Yeah. But it definitely the main event. Main event is so much to talk about. And we've talked about it till we're blue in the face.
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely a match to revel on for years to come.
Yep.
And it's not surprising because it had to come to an end at some point. But the trigger has been pulled. Roman Reigns' title reign has ended.
And it was a hell of a run. He could have defended a little bit more, I think, but I get it. I understand why.
Mm-hmm. And only 2 titles did not change hands. WWE Women's World Heavyweight Championship and the U.S.
Yep, every other title was dropped.
Mm-hmm.
That insane to think about. That's historic, I think.
That's insane to think about, and also goes back to when we were talking about our predictions, being like, we're saying a lot of titles are changing hands. We have to be wrong on something, and we were almost right that all the titles changed hands.
Mm-hmm.
The 2 titles that I said were going to stay were the 2 titles that stayed.
Yep, I was wrong on both counts.
I thought Io Sky was going to retain, so I was wrong on that one. I also thought Gunther was going to retain, too, so I was wrong on that front, too. You had a lot of titles changing. I had a lot of titles staying.
You good?
I think it's time to wrap up. What do you think?
That's
all, folks.
Yep.
One last thing that I will bring up that I did mention to Jeremy to kind of update for future reference for videos in future.
He's having a bad night. You need more water?
No, I'm good. I might need something harder. But anyways, we were talking at the end of Night 2 predictions about wrestling memories and all that. Mm-hmm. And I brought it up to Jeremy, and somewhere down the line, keep a watch out for this video. I'm going to workshop it and see how to make it a little bit interesting and everything. We are going to kind of give our history of how we were introduced into wrestling and why it's special to us, I guess. And like I said, I want to workshop it. I have a few things in mind, so it's not just like a 10-minute video. I'm sure we can stretch it out. We can stretch any video out.
Yeah.
I don't know how long we've been recording this one for.
You can stretch any type of media you can stretch out. Look at One Piece.
Yeah, dear Lord. But I think that's all. Keep a watch out for that video for when it comes out. I have no timestamp when we're going to record it or whatever. So just keep an eye out for it. And I would like to once again thanks Jeremy for joining me for all these predictions and everything, and basically revitalizing the channel. And I'm sure you will see us again for pay-per-views down the road, even if we don't end up watching them. Well, not pay-per-views, premium live events down the road, even if we don't end up watching them or whatever.
I mean, we should do Backlash.
We definitely will do Backlash. And even if it's one that you're not interested in, I will still at least try and give predictions or whatever. And I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Hope y'all enjoyed WrestleMania.
I sure did.
And I'm Cody the Hangman Huntsman. He's been Jeremy. And that's just how it is.